It's time for Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio.
Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a hump day. Feels like a Tuesday, but it is a Wednesday. It is a hump day, and we're going to talk with Dustin Starr today at 11:30. Get into a little bit of wrestling and some little Grizzlies, a little bit of Redbirds. 11:30, going to have a lot of fun. We have a huge Hardwood. There are so many Hardwood stories out there today, it's not even funny. We got P. Diddy now, grand jury's meeting. We got all kinds of craziness. More Deion Sanders news. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Plus, we're going to talk a little NFL. Talk about these rookie quarterbacks. When do you think they're going to get their start? Also talk some about the second-year quarterbacks. Is Will Levis going to take that next step? Is Bryce Young going to be any better at Carolina? Is C.J. Stroud about to shoot off to the stratosphere? And is Anthony Richardson is he going to be able to stay healthy and be awesome? My man, again, between him being at Florida in college and in the National Football League, I believe it's something like 17 starts. Not a whole lot, but we'll talk a lot of NFL. Plus, I want to talk a little college football. We're inside 100 days. And there are some, teams that I want to discuss inside basically the way too early top 25. Talk about some of their new additions, their schedules, things of that nature. Georgia, a lot of SEC schools, Texas, how's things going to be for them, Ohio State. So we're going to get into a little bit of football. Now we also have to talk a little bit about some baseball. And last night, if you watch the NBA, Minnesota avoided the sweep. And holy cow, I told you how bad Cat was in Game 1, how bad he was in Game 2, and how bad he was in Game 3. And, last night defensively he was terrible. He makes the dumbest fouls you've ever seen in your history of your life. But guess what? He hit big threes. Ant-Man had 9 assists in the second half, most of any half he's ever had in his pro career. And a lot of it was the Cat who was finally stroking, finally hitting. Can he continue to do it? I'm not sure. We'll talk about what we saw last night in the NBA. We're also going to talk about what we think is going to happen on Thursday. A lot of basketball news and notes that we got to get to. But I want to start off here. And I am going to tell you, I need your help. I am, I'm a baseball fan. Love baseball. Always have loved baseball. And now I'm kind of struggling with a few things. One, if you have not heard, Major League Baseball, the Negro League stats are now part of the historical record in Major League Baseball. And I want y'all's help on your opinion of this. Because, stats in baseball are huge. Huge. And, we talk about the steroid era and how Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Rafael Palmeiro and these Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, these guys ain't getting in because of the steroids. Now, again, a lot of people were using them. Hell, Barry Bonds watched Sosa and McGwire go nuts and decided that, hey, at this age, I need to start using them because I'm a better hitter than them. Give me the juice. And it just kind of makes me think to myself is, all right, so we had a juiced era and we give all those people asterisks. We don't count them. We also had the Greeny era where everybody was hopped up on speed. We don't say anything about that. And now to go back to, you're going to include the Negro League stats with Major League Baseball. And for some reason, it never hit me before. Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, all those players that we immortalize, they weren't even playing against the best of the best because you had segregation, because you had an all-black league and you had an all-white league. It's basically like two AAA teams because Major League Baseball is best of the best. And if we're going to give asterisks to Barry Bonds and all the guys who are hitting home runs during the steroid that helped bring baseball back, by the way, are we now going to give asterisks to everybody that played before they ended segregation in baseball? Because look at Satchel Paige. Could you imagine actually? I mean, Satchel Paige probably is going to have more wins than Cy Young. The dude pitched for 4 decades. Josh Gibson now, all-time hits leader in pro baseball. Ty Cobb, he passed him. But if we do, baseball goes through so many ebbs and flows, and the game has changed and stayed the same and changed and then come back to the same. It's still baseball, yes, but so many different eras. And if we're going to kill Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, all these players during the steroid era when it wasn't illegal, why aren't we going to basically now look at these old stats instead of immortalize them? Be like, hey, let's be real. If the best of the best were actually on the field, these stats would be different. Segregated baseball was not the best competition ever in the sport. I don't know. I want to know what y'all think. 901-360-8255. And again, yes, you know I have an issue with the whole steroid era being basically looked at in such a ridiculous ilk. And I don't understand it because, again, it saved baseball. It was fun. It was awesome. And damn it, everybody was doing it. Now they've cleaned up the game. Great. At least we think. I don't know. If you're going to tell me that the steroid era needs an asterisk, when baseball was segregated and you got all these amazing, dude, Ty Cobb, 511 wins. I mean, not Ty Cobb, Cy Young, 511 wins. Ty Cobb was batting, I think his career was 363. If you think about the big records, 500 homers, 3,000 hits, 3,000 Ks, batting 400, there's going to be a bunch of new names on these lists. And if you look back at those old numbers, now I realize why those numbers were so damn inflated. Because, again, the best weren't playing the best. It was segregated. The Negro League. The, quote, all-white MLB. I don't know. You tell me what you think. 901-360-8255. Hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin text or listener line. Am I just coming from a point of view where it drives me crazy because of the steroid era? Or do you think it's valid? Again, you combined the Negro League with MLB back then. That would have been one hell of a league. But guess what? Half the dudes that were playing in those leagues would be down in AAA playing somewhere else. That's my little soapbox. I just again, I always get such an ilk We've had so many different eras. I mean, you had back in the day when they were scuffing baseballs, cheating like it's going out of style. We had the speed era where everybody's taking greenies. Steroid era, segregated era. Dude, just put all the damn stats in there and stop giving asterisks. But I feel like the biggest asterisk, if we're going to give any asterisk, it would have to go back to the past when the sport was segregated. Not the steroid era. Damn it, Barry Bonds was one of the best damn baseball players ever to step on a field, period. But that is me jumping on a little bit of baseball. Now, speaking of baseball, I pretty much basically ended the Braves season. You can't lose a top 3 position player in all of baseball, the MVP of the league last year. Not only lose him, but lose your best pitcher, top 5, top 10 pitcher in the league, in Spencer Strider. They're 5 games back of the Phillies. But they do have 31 wins. They're still in the wild card. And Max Fried looked great yesterday. Holy cow, where did that performance come from? And then guess what? Marcell Ozuna, dude hit another home run. Dude hit another one. I think it's his 16th home run of the season. He's pretty much on fire. Now, the Dodgers are out in front of everybody, and other than the Phillies, that is. But the weird thing is, Phillies could not score in 9 innings yesterday. Then they couldn't score in the 10th inning when they had a runner on third with 1 out. And they lost to the Giants in 10 innings, 1-0. This is a team that's been mashing. They lost to the Giants before that 8-4. And then they lost to the Rockies 5-2. And the Rockies 3-2. Losers of 4 of their last 5 games. They're still 38-18 with the best record in all of the National League. But, dude, right now they got a little bit of chink in that armor. Got a little bit of a chink. Baseball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we do have some interesting games going on today. I definitely know that I'll be doing a little day gambling. At 11:40, Pirates and the Tigers. Detroit. Skuball's on the bump. Tyler Skubal for Detroit. At home. Game 1 of a doubleheader against the Pirates. Pirates have been disappointing. Tigers have been a little bit better than expected. Detroit minus 150.
You gonna take a stab at it, John?
Man, I kind of like Skubal on the Tigers.
Well, John, here's something that you can just keep in mind. I'm not telling you to go one way or the other. Skubal on the mound in Game 1 for the Tigers against the Pirates. Mm-hmm. Game 2, Paul Skeens versus a guy making his MLB debut. So I'm just saying maybe you can, Tigers to win the first game. You feel better about Pittsburgh to win the second game. Maybe that's how you do it.
I don't just feel better about Pittsburgh winning the second game. I know I'm betting on Pittsburgh.
A lock.
In the second game.
Yeah.
Dude, Paul Skeens is that dude.
He's nasty.
Seriously. He is absolutely filthy. Man. Dude is much better than advertised. But yeah, we got a lot of day baseball. Reds have been playing pretty good right now. They play the Cardinals today. Cardinals have been playing pretty good. This one's from Great America Ballpark. Frankie's pitching for the Cincinnati Reds, Frankie Montas. And I have no idea who's pitching for the Cardinals.
Andre Palante. It's a bullpen day.
Oh, bullpen day. That's why I didn't see us. Okay. Little bullpen day kind of makes me like the Reds. Do you feel better about Paul Goldschmidt now that he's hit 3 home runs in his last 4 games? That's something that Cardinal fans have been waiting on. They need that bad. And then Phillies have lost 3 in a row. You can get them today against the Giants minus 135. Are they going to wake up? Giants have been pretty good. But I feel like, oh my goodness, 245. I feel like, dude, winners of 3 straight, 4 of their last 5. This team's too good to play like that. I feel like they get it done. So we got a lot of day baseball that we're going to rap about.
Dayball. Brian Dayball.
Why are you talking about Brian Dayball?
It was a joke your old producer would make where anytime you talked about day baseball, he would say Dayball, and then he'd say Brian Dayball, and then he'd go on a little tangent about the Giants. But I'm not a Giants fan, so I'm not going to do that.
Speaking of baseball, by the way, have you looked at all the road to Omaha? Have you looked at the regionals?
Oh, of course, John. College baseball. It's one of my love languages.
I'll tell you, number 1 overall seed Tennessee, they are, of course, in Knoxville hosting a regional against Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Southern Miss.
Ridiculous Southern Miss in that.
Dude, actually, that Southern Miss team's a little bit better. Like, they play above their heads.
They do.
They play above their heads. That's a terrible bracket for them to get in, though.
Sure is.
Terrible. And then, of course, speaking of other ones, man, Oklahoma is hosting their regional, number 9 team in the country, Oral Roberts, UConn, and Duke. They're in that bad boy. Florida State, they're hosting. They got Stetson, Alabama, and Central Florida. Alabama. Another one is, of course, over in Fayetteville. You have Arkansas, Southeastern Missouri State, Kansas State, and Louisiana Tech. We talked about some of the teams yesterday that were left out and on the bubble and all that good stuff. The fact Kansas State's in over TCU is also another thing that just blows my mind, especially when TCU went 3-1 in the season against them. So crazy stuff still with some of those teams that were left out. Another one that I find interesting, a regional, is you got Kentucky hosting a regional in Lexington, Kentucky.
That's right. How about that? Good
Man,
team.
when the season started, did you expect this out of Kentucky?
I did not, but they have played really well.
They rake. They mash the baseball.
And there's somebody in their region that shouldn't be in their region.
Illinois?
No.
Or Indiana State?
Indiana State. Indiana State should be hosting a region. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I have to say I agree with you on that bad boy. I agree with you on that one. And then Georgia, they have I feel like, I mean, their bracket, Army, Georgia Tech, and UNC Wilmington.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Georgia Tech got in there. I love, hopefully getting that matchup again. Obviously, a rivalry that Georgia dominated this year. But a little surprised Georgia Tech got in. I thought they were going to be a team that got left out. But again, like you brought up yesterday, John, a lot of those teams that had, people on the inside in the committee, they were able to get their teams in, and Georgia Tech is one of those teams that benefited from that.
College Station's hosting one.
Yep.
You have Texas A&M, Grambling, Louisiana, and Texas.
Look out for Louisiana, good team.
Yeah, Louisiana, I think, smokes Texas in game 1 in that bad boy.
Definitely could.
But yeah, this bad boy starts on Friday.
I'm excited.
I'm ready for a little ting.
Oh yeah, most beautiful. One of the more beautiful sounds in sports.
Ting. The one thing with watching college baseball too is like the emotion. It is so different from watching Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And then also, like the fielding and some of the errors that happened at like the most inopportune times. You actually see a young kid actually when the pressure is at the highest choke, and you just feel like, who was a shortstop a couple years ago? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but
it was like he had the worst inning in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And he had like the highest fielding percentage on the team, was a superstar, of course got drafted and everything. And dude ended up having like 3 errors in 1 inning and just burying his team. So, man, I'm ready for a little College World Series. But I'm also ready to remind you that everybody needs protection. Doesn't matter if you're on the road. Doesn't matter if you're on the field. You're going to need the best. Bob Simpson at State Farm, he is the best. He can buckle you up with auto insurance, back you up with life insurance, and he can cover your business, whether it's starting, growing, or maturing. Don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today, 901-381-1233, or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor. Your good neighbor is Bob Simpson. Dustin Starr on the other side, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Collierville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, here, and he's ready to start something big at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. What's up, Jace?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month. Or take your pick from the 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Taos SE. We Gossett at $279.28 a month.
That's a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month. Or take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
And Randy, you know the deal. Make me an offer because no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Crossport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
This is the month when Memphians and visitors spend a lot of time downtown. And when you're surrounded by all the Memphis inmate chaos and desperately need to find some peace and quiet, steer yourself to Barbaro Alley and Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar. At Bell Tavern, you'll find cool air, low lights, and the best cocktails you'll find anywhere in town, not just downtown. Spend a little time cooling your heels and everything else, and watch the parade pass by at Bell Tavern, your Memphis and May headquarters.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Collierville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Collierville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
The only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio, and I got to tell y'all and be honest with you, I can't breathe. My lungs aren't working, and my brain, I feel like it's shrunk.
Well, at least you're honest, John.
I've been struggling the last 2 days. That's what I guess 2 days of panic and Memorial Day will do for you.
How was panic, John? Good time? We can talk about it more later. I know you got to get to Dustin.
Friday night was so old school Panic style. Like, it was just straight up dope. And then, Saturday was ridiculous. Margo Price, Paul Cauthen came out and played with Panic. And it was, man, they went absolutely crazy. So both nights were awesome, but Saturday night was exceptional. Speaking of exceptional, Dustin Starr does everything. And he does it exceptionally well. He does the Redbirds, he does the Grizzlies, he does the Hustle, and he does Memphis wrestling. And he's got 2 beautiful sons, a beautiful wife, and a beautiful baby girl on the way. What's up, Dustin? How's life?
Introduction I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to go back and pull that and play it over and over and over again for other hosts. That was great. Thank you, Johnny. Everything's great.
Man, what'd you do over Memorial Day weekend?
Rocking and rolling. We were hanging at the river. What is that, Buffalo River out in Arkansas? So we were there doing our thing, just hanging out, and then got back and kind of got back to work. Big, busy week this weekend. I think I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all 3 days packed full of pro wrestling. So just gearing up for that, man. How was yours?
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. My brain's not working, my lungs aren't working, and I can't breathe.
Well, Maria is pregnant, obviously, so the party was a little more tame than what it might have been otherwise. And we're getting older, brother.
Man, trust me, I know that. That's why I think I'm hurting so bad, because I'm too old to be doing this stuff 2 nights in a row.
The cool thing about getting away for a couple of days, even if it's just a couple of days, is I don't have anywhere to be. You know, I could still do a little bit of work on my computer and on my phone and stuff, but then I don't have to actually be anywhere because I'm out of town. I'm on vacation. So that's more relaxing than anything, really, because, you know, in this business, I've got to have stuff on the calendar. You know what I mean?
Oh, and you have a lot. And you have a lot on the calendar. Speaking of the calendar, what you got coming down the pipe?
Well, so, you know, the Redbirds homestand is this week. So Redbirds are back in action. I'll be doing wrestling this week, though. So this week, the WWE Talent Scout, Gabe Sapolsky. And for the, you know, casual wrestling fans out there, Google Gabe Sapolsky and you'll see that he created Ring of Honor. He worked side by side with Paul Heyman at ECW back in the original ECW days. He's a scout with WWE, very influential wrestling promoter and talent scout. And so he's coming to Memphis, and then we're going to go to a couple of the other territories nearby to check out some talent, not only, you know, for Gabe and potential WWE opportunities or whatnot, but then also for Memphis Wrestling, because we're always scouting new talent. So on Friday night, we're going to go out to Osceola, Arkansas. That's been a really, really good wrestling area for a really long time, dating back to the Moondog days. They actually used to have Moondog Championship Wrestling in Osceola. And so it's still called MCW, but they changed the name. Anyways, there's a lot of really good talent out there, so we'll be there Friday. And then Saturday morning, we're back at the Wrestle Center for our seminar. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in getting in front of Gabe or seeing that maybe you want to get into sports and entertainment, go to WrestleCenter901.com and you can register. There's only a couple of spots available. So we'll do our seminar on Saturday morning, and then we're going to head out to Tupelo for a big pro wrestling event at the fair. And so we'll check that out. And then on Sunday, we're back at the Wrestle Center for our big TV taping. And this TV taping has gotten so much more steam than even the last time we talked, because Tommy Dreamer is coming back to Memphis. Kid Cash is a former ECW star. Nobody's really seen him in many, many years, probably about 15 years since anybody in Memphis has seen him. So it's going to be really cool. We've got going to have a full house on Sunday, but we do have tickets available. MemphisWrestling.tv. Use the code ECW at checkout, and you'll save $5 because these two guys are ECW legends. So I've got wrestling all weekend, man, and not all in front of a camera. A lot of it's like behind the camera, planting seeds for the future.
Well, Gabe Sapolsky, who's going to be there on Saturday, this is something for people in the Mid-South. Like, I mean, I think this is just amazing that y'all are doing this over at the Wrestle Center, because you also train, you know, future wrestlers at the Wrestling Center. But this is a kind of like a situation where if you're thinking about maybe going in and training, you go see him, the talent scout, kind of get a feel what everything's going for, and then you can actually find out if this is something you want to dip your toes in.
Yeah, no, this is a real thing. So he was here last March, so he'll be able to see how much we've grown and how much our talent's grown. So a lot of this will be a follow-up, but then we have brand new trainees. So we have trainees that have signed up last week, the week before. We're always getting new trainees. So just imagine this, Johnny. Like, it took me a long time to be seen or scouted or even noticed, by WWE, before they even knew who my name, you know what I'm saying, or my face. And with these folks, within the first weeks of training, they're going to be in front of a WWE talent scout, which is crazy. So the opportunity starts early, and then you can start getting that feedback and seeing exactly what they want, what they're looking for at the next level. So, I just think it's an amazing opportunity. So also, the percentages are very high. Those who do the seminar and do well during the seminar, they usually get booked on WWE shows. A couple months ago when they were in Nashville, I sent about 25 of our, wrestlers and managers and trainees and stuff to go do a spot for them. Every time they're at FedEx Forum or just nearby, they look for us because we do the talent scouts and the seminars and all that kind of stuff. They know what we're doing. And
shoot, you had people at the WWE thing. You have people with the Rock situation. You got people all over the place.
We're doing whatever we can, brother. Also, mentioning all this, it was just announced that AEW is coming back to Landers Center in July. And so last time they were at FedEx Forum, we did a whole lot of interviews and marketing and all that kind of stuff. You had Jeff Jarrett in studio that week. That was really cool. I think Mickey James might have stopped by. Whatever it was, definitely Jeff Jarrett. But they're coming in July, so we get another AEW event at Landers Center.
All right, I got to ask a question for you. Chris Jericho and stuff was talking about the growth of AEW and some Becky Lynch rumors. You know anything about that?
Becky, WWE is doing a really good job at making you think that maybe these stars are going to go somewhere else. And some of them will, but I don't think Becky Lynch is going anywhere close to AEW. I just don't see it. Drew McIntyre recently had a similar situation where, Drew was working without a contract and all these rumors and stuff. Maybe he's going to go to AEW. And then after Drew signed the contract, he said, hey, I was never going to do that. You guys all made that up. So really, WWE does kind of a good job at trolling people, making them think something else is going to happen. Like the other day when Becky lost the cage match, she actually lost over the weekend. She lost her championship, and then she lost a cage match on Monday night. So 2 losses in a row, and then they went off the air with her sitting in the middle of the ring crying. So WWE is telling this story that, is this the last time you're going to see Becky Lynch? I don't think it is. I think something else is going to happen. You'll see it in a couple weeks, and it'll be awesome. Now, on the flip side, Sasha Banks did go to AEW. She's the highest paid, women's wrestler over there. So there is a chance that Becky could go, but I just don't see it, especially with the TKO and working with UFC. These events are going to get bigger and bigger. They're running stadiums. They're not even running arenas. They're running stadiums for these big pay-per-views and everything. I don't know why you'd ever walk away from that. That's big money.
Yeah, it feels like, though, it feels like wrestling is just taking off. And, again, they've now, started doing a little cross-promotion with UFC,
yep.
WWE. It feels like some of the – I don't know. It just feels like it's everywhere. And I feel like sometimes I'm, completely out of the loop. Somebody comes up to me and starts talking to me because they're like, oh, man, tell me about Dustin Starr. Tell me about this. And I'm like, I know a lot about Dustin Starr.
You better tell them good.
Oh, I tell them all good things. But they ask me wrestling questions, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to ask Dustin next time I talk to him.
That is awesome. Look, they haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet with this. The merger. Bye-bye, buddy. Love you. Reese is going to, I guess, play with his cousins. But they haven't even really started this. This partnership and, new ownership is so young and new. They haven't even done a big power slap UFC, WWE weekend in a city yet. That's what Dana White said as early as 2 weeks ago, that eventually you'll have power slap on Friday, UFC on Saturday, WWE on Sunday, all in the same arena. So they'll sell out that weekend, every single one of those, and bring a ton of business to all the businesses around it. So, it's going to get bigger. I just don't see how it's not. They haven't even started that yet. Then you'll start seeing the UFC crossing over with WWE, where you'll see some of the fighters come over and all that kind of stuff. You've seen a little bit of that in the past.
I feel like Conor McGregor is a guy that would end up being really good.
Absolutely. At the WWE. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. That's the perfect thing. He could talk to trash, Yeah, he's the perfect one. He's the perfect crossover there. I'm sure there's some other ones. They've already been kind of discussing it, and Dana White says he's cool with it, man. I'm fine. He's like, he actually had a funny quote about Vince, how Vince used to screw him over in those situations, and it was okay. So I think it's okay now.
I got to ask you another question. I was just thinking about, there's, how many guys, go here play at the University of Memphis football. And so very few make it to the NFL. Like, I'm thinking to myself that I bet, like, going over there and getting with the university, I bet there's a lot of talent over there on that football field.
Absolutely. Yes. That's been discussed, actually, like, internally. I think that's some of the stuff that, like, I have to earn because we are so early and so young in. As soon as, we have a couple that are, deemed WWE prospects at this point, once we start getting some of our talent signed, I think that's going to be the proof in the pudding. Then I would have more leverage to go to a university or to a football team or to, even an amateur, high school amateur wrestling team. How many of those folks are going to go to the next level and wrestle in college? Or maybe, like you said, the college level. Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. But I think I have to kind of earn that. But it's been discussed. We're doing a talent scouting seminar this weekend. That has absolutely been discussed. And you know what? I'll throw a name out there. Will Coleman is somebody that I've been trying to recruit.
Oh, my goodness. That big old body, broad shoulders. He would be awesome.
Yes. And WWE likes the fact that you're successful in another sport because it shows that you have the determination and the drive to get better at something, to become a professional at it. That's how good and athletic and skilled you are. So they really like that. Sometimes the fans are like, he's just a football player. Yeah, he can't wrestle. He's a football player or whatever. But that's why they pick, other athletes that are good in other sports because they have that drive to get better at something else.
I could also see, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to be fighting next month. By the way, did you see the Mike Tyson medical scare?
I did not see that, but I'm glad you brought that up. I was less interested after the press conference.
When they looked like they loved each other.
Yes,
that was.
I don't.
I didn't like that at all. It almost felt like you could tell that it was already planned. Like they just kept smiling at each other.
You lost my buy off. I was going to buy that pay-per-view. I was literally going to invite people over, but after they're joking and goofing like that, I wanted to see Mike act like give me some pro wrestling, Mike. Tell me you're going to eat his kids. Tell me you're going to break his back right to his face. Don't you're laughing and stuff. I just lost interest in it. What was the medical scare though? I heard he stopped smoking during this whole time, so he would be more agitated and be able to, beat his opponent better.
No, so Mike had in Dacus, make sure I'm right. I think he had a seizure on a plane. Is that right?
I know it was a medical emergency while he was getting on his plane. So
the final 30 minutes of the flight, right before they were landing, he ended up having a medical scare, I know. And damn it, man. Can you find out what it is? Because I'm slow.
I'm looking. From what I see, everyone's just kind of calling it a medical emergency. I don't know if we got to any specifics.
Well, I think they're probably trying to duck and dodge that fight being canceled because if they say the wrong thing, I think that whoever's sanctioning or whatever, you know what I mean, the commission, they're like, wait a second, guys.
Well, I will say, again, he's 57 years old. I still think he's going to whip up on Jake Paul, even though it looks like, Jake Paul is the overwhelming favorite, which is crazy to me.
Hey, I think a Mike Tyson WWE appearance, after he beats Jake Paul would be perfect because Logan Paul just wrestled for the world title against Cody. Hey, man, Logan Paul is a superstar in the WWE, and he says he's doing it full-time now. I can only imagine his brother, after he gets the fighting out of his system, he'll come over, and then you have the Paul brothers in the WWE as a tag team.
I think
that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Yeah, they'll be tag team champions or something like that.
Maybe it's fight each other. Fruit.
By the way,
if me and you knew we would make millions of bucks if we just went and did this for a couple of years, brother, I'm in with you.
Me
Let's
too.
do it.
Me too. Dadgummit, what was I thinking about? I had something else crazy to talk to you about the whole Mike Tyson situation. And, of course, again, my brain is not working very well right now.
Still on the holiday.
I've just not recovered. But I also have one other thing. You're with the Redbirds. You do the baseball, and I asked this question, and I want to ask you if I'm just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But did you hear today? Major League Baseball now, the Negro League stats are being merged into Major League Baseball. So, like Josh Gibson had I think 373 average. He'll pass Ty Cobb for the best average. You'll have Satchel Paige is going to have more wins than Cy Young, isn't he? He only pitched over 4 different decades. So like these numbers are going to change. And baseball and numbers are very important. And my whole situation,
you guys are so fickle about all of it.
No, but here's my whole situation. Because again, now that this happened, it made me realize something today. Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, all the great players from the past. How is it that they don't have an asterisk? Because they weren't playing the best of the best. If you took the Negro League and you took the MLB and you didn't have segregation, you put them together, half of the players would have been out of that league, and you actually would have had the best on the best. And if we're going to kill the steroid era for doing steroids, why don't we put an asterisk back in the day that, hey, there was segregation. Best versus best did not play back then.
So are they not going to – there's got to be some sort of asterisk or note in the record book or something.
No, like the only what people get asterisk is like Barry Bonds and Jose Canseco, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens. So I don't know. I'm just thinking, there's different eras and different times.
That is very interesting. I will say,
Babe Ruth is the greatest person in the world. He was amazing. Don't get me wrong. But again, he only played against white dudes.
Right. Hey, kudos to Major League Baseball for merging those stats. I think there will always be separate stats, though. You know what I'm saying? I always think there will be separate stats. But if you're going to be, you're exactly right. If you're going to be deemed one of the greatest of all time and you didn't play against the very best, that's like that's.
Barry Bonds was playing best of the best, and he was the best of the best for so long. And then after McGwire and Sosa started hitting bombs, and he realized they're taking steroids, he's like, I'm a better hitter than I'm going to hit bombs and get all that record, and goes and hits 72 home runs.
Yeah.
Keeping Barry Bonds out or Roger Clemens is just nuts to me.
Quick clarification as well. Just because you take steroids does not make you see the ball better. It makes you stronger. It makes you have bigger muscles, right? It does not affect your hand-eye coordination. If you're uncoordinated to hit a baseball and you take steroids, it doesn't automatically make you hit a baseball. So I'm just saying, even with steroids, there is a lot of skill involved with hitting any kind of pitch, especially in the majors.
And Barry Bonds didn't swing at balls. And if you threw it in the strike zone, he was sending that junk over the fence. So,
what is your so if somebody mentions Jose Canseco, what do you think of first?
D-bag.
I think of the ball bouncing off of his head in the outfield. So same.
Yeah.
And I like Jose Canseco. He's like a total wrestler. He talks trash. He's muscular and he cheats. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't his daughter Josie Canseco dating some famous person?
I saw her in the news here recently and thought, man, she's an attractive woman. Jose Canseco.
Yeah, he did pretty good. Now, do me a big favor. Tell everybody what else is coming down the pipe, how they get their tickets, and how they find you.
Well, this Sunday, Tommy Dreamer is coming back to Memphis Wrestling, and it's going to be a fight. Kid Cash is going to be there, and I know the diehard ECW fans are going to love those lanyards that we have. So go on the website, reserve your seat, because there probably won't be any at the door. MemphisWrestling.tv. Use the code ECW at checkout. You'll save $5. General admission is $10, bro. You'll get in for $5 and have the time of your life. So we do 12:30 VIP, 1:30 bell time. We start on time. It's going to be 68 degrees inside the Wrestle Center, no matter how hot it is outside. And then also for those of you who want to come and check out the seminar and do some training with us in front of Gabe Sapolsky, WrestleCenter901.com. And that's what I got going on, Johnny.
Man, Dustin, you busy as all get out. Have fun this weekend, man. Get a little bit of rest in between if you can. We'll do it again next Wednesday.
I will rest next week, and I'll talk to you next week, too.
Later, big homie.
Later, brother.
That is my buddy Dustin Starr. We're going to take a quick timeout. Be back in 2 shakes. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
You know, one thing we never talk about is how family-friendly Central Barbecue is.
Always has been.
At any Central Barbecue location.
And there are a lot of them.
You know your kids will have a good time and a great meal.
The kids' menu is perfect.
Everything from a grilled cheese to a junior barbecue sandwich to a hot dog, junior chicken sandwich, or classic mac and cheese, and they all come with a side and a small drink, all at a great price.
You just left me with literally nothing to say about kids at Central Barbecue.
I was just trying to be thorough.
You covered everything. What am I supposed to talk about?
The parking?
You just stole the whole commercial.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG510 MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE78169. MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealers.com.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
All the wisdom of the universe is in these bones.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. It is a hump day. It feels like a Tuesday, but my goodness, it is Wednesday. We're getting closer to the weekend. I need another weekend to actually get my brain and body right. But, man, speaking of getting your body right, what do y'all think about Lamar Jackson? Have you seen any of the new photos?
How about that? Yeah, he's shedding weight.
Dude's gone from 230. Last year, remember, he was the MVP of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he played terrible against Kansas City. That's just as much on Todd Monken and the offensive coordinators who only gave the running backs the ball 8 damn times. But he was MVP of the league at 230 pounds last year. He's down to 207. Says he wants to play around 205. That's dropping 25 pounds. I have listened to a few people absolutely go nuts. Oh my God, you were the MVP of the league last year. You don't need to do that. Plus, you don't want to get smaller. Oh, you got to be able to take hits in the NFL, especially being a running quarterback. Bro, Lamar Jackson says he feels faster than he has in a long time, and he's already faster than pretty much everybody else. He's going to be even faster next year. And no, he doesn't need to have his body at 230 because he uses his speed. And the most important thing you have to remember watching Lamar Jackson, how many big shots does he actually take? He gets down. He gets around you. He's not. He takes glancing blows. He is not standing in the pocket, getting killed from behind, and just getting driven to the ground. So I think this Baltimore team is going to be something to reckon with. And again, he's got 2 damn MVPs. He thinks he's going to be better. I'm not going to argue with Lamar Jackson. But man, look at this team. Derrick Henry is down the backfield with Lamar Jackson. You know who's going to be beaten up on defenses? That's going to be Derrick Henry. And don't forget they have the best fullback in football possibly, Patrick Ricard. Dude blows holes open. Derrick Henry, Patrick Ricard will be beating on defenses. And then when they're beaten on and tired, Lamar Jackson's running around them, run into the end zone. And let's not forget their wide receiving core is so much better. So much better. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar. They still have Mark Andrews at tight end. Watch out, man. I think that you need to be not concerned for Lamar Jackson losing 25 pounds almost. I think you need to be concerned about how fast he's going to be and how physical this offensive line, fullback, and that tailback are going to be. Todd Monken, though, better not have another game like you had against Kansas City in the playoffs last year. That was terrible. It's the only thing that I would actually worry about if I'm the Ravens. Did you see the kudos that I gave Todd Monken last year?
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about, oh, my gosh, look what he's done with Lamar Jackson. The man is throwing the ball down the field vertically. Offense is running like a well-oiled machine. And again, he was the OC for the MVP. Number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Problem is, man, when they played Kansas City, that was the dumbest play calling in the history of playoff football. Pathetic. We're also going to talk about some quarterbacks on the other side. I'm going to talk about some of the second-year quarterbacks like Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, a little bit of college football. We got Hardwood because it feels so good. And don't forget, I got a little college football news to talk about. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
And if the dam breaks open many years too soon, and if there
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
I've got Rockin' Ronnie Smith on the line at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And Ronnie, it's the season for the Memorial Day sales event.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive, packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque, $32,320, plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door, $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, or online anytime, GossettMotorcars.net.
All 75 months at 8.99 APR, 3,500 down, Renegade Triple P 56.5 120, MSRP 31095. Charger PH 636 171, MSRP 37120. Hornet R3A 15264, MSRP 34820. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. Payments includes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Summer starts now with Memorial Day appliance savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances from brands like KitchenAid. And right now, you can double your savings when you spend $2,500 or more. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Offer valid through 6/5. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's kind of crazy. We haven't talked much basketball today.
No, we've not. Off day.
Yeah, no basketball game tonight. Kind of freaks me out.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful, by the way, that the Minnesota Timberwolves won that game so we still have more basketball and don't have to wait a week for the finals. We get another game. If you didn't know, yes, Dallas had a 3-0 series lead. They had a Game 4 in their crib, and the Timberwolves fought their little tails off, got a huge win, and now this bad boy is going back to Minnesota for game number 5. And I will say, I am not going to actually say, oh man, if Timberwolves win this one, oh, we might, we might get this bad boy to game 7. We might. But I do feel really good about the Timberwolves' chances on Thursday because they're right now currently a 5.5-point favorite. They are at their house. Anthony Edwards was awesome. He was dropping dimes in the second half, and in the first quarter, he was scoring like a maniac. Big Cat, who he did foul out too at the end, didn't he?
He sure did.
Yeah, he fouled out right at the end. Stupid. I mean, he makes dumb fouls.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid fouls. But damn, when he starts making some three-pointers, it actually kind of helps out. And again, I told you, My man was 0 for 8 in Game 3. 0 for 8 in Game 3. And again, all these games have been tight. Game number 1, 3-point game. Could have gone to the Timberwolves. Thought they were going to get it. But you know what? The best closers right now have been Luka and Kyrie. They took that junk from them. Game number 2, the Mavericks won 109-108. A 1-point frickin' game. Game 3, Big Cat was terrible. It was still only a 9-point game. And then last night, Timberwolves 105-100 over the Mavs. And the key to that game, like you have to say, is Ant-Man did not guard Kyrie. Did you notice who he did guard a whole lot, though, last night?
Who's that?
Luka.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so effective on Luka. And putting McDaniels on Kyrie, I thought was extremely effective as well. You didn't see Ant-Man absolutely exhausted. You did see him drop 29 points, 2 for 5 from downtown. My man had 10 rebounds, 9 assists. I thought he was phenomenal. And then again, you have to give Cat some credit. He hit 4 of 5 from downtown. And the shots that he hit with 5 minutes left in that game, Dallas came back and took that lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought everything was getting ready to go south for the Timberwolves because I literally said to myself, oh, watch, Big Cat's just going to start jacking up trays. He's going brick. No, it didn't happen. Ant-Man was playing. By the way, I loved also Mike Conley not being on the point in the second half. I know I love Mike Conley. Mike Conley, I think, had a great game.
Yeah.
He had 4 steals. You know that? 3 in the first half.
It got called old after the game though by Ant. So he is old though.
He is old compared to 22-year-old
right.
Ant. But Mike Conley, they took him off the point. They put Anthony Edwards in that second half, basically running the point. Had Mike on the off ball. And did you see how effective everything was? I mean, my man had 9 dimes, and all of them were in the second half. He wasn't playing hero ball. It wasn't just Ant-Man versus the Dallas Mavericks, and he sometimes have to pick it up out to Big Cat and him brick. He was facilitating. He was getting his. They looked much better. I got to give Chris Finch credit for the adjustments. I do also have to remind you, though, you know who didn't play in that game for the Mavericks?
Derek Lively.
No, he did not. And you know how well he's been playing through these playoffs.
Great. Yeah.
And he's a rookie talking trash out there, too. Bro, this kid's coming to the league and taking it by storm. I did not think he was going to be like this, but he has been all about it. And Gafford needs him back. 31 minutes last night. He had 3 blocks. I mean, Gafford is a shot-blocking machine, but didn't he look hobbled pretty much the whole game?
Yeah.
The last 2 games, my man has been on the court a lot, and he's been getting physically beat up. They need Derek Lively. They need to get him back. But, man, I'm telling you, I'm kind of excited because I want Thursday night, I want to force a Game 6. I want to see if maybe the tide can turn. I mean, right now, we got to give the Dallas Mavericks just still tons of credit for the way they've played in the playoffs this year. Their defense is something that I thought was going to be a major liability. They are still playing great defense. And Luka and Kyrie work. And P.J. Washington, who hits a lot of corner threes, was 2 for 9 last night and missed some very good opportunities. And he hasn't been missing those corner threes, especially late in the ball game. Last night, he wasn't hitting. I do got to say, though, bro, did you see the alley-oop to Derrick Jones from my man Luka?
Oh, man, that was crazy.
One, how did he see him, Luka? How did he see him? Threw the ball up there, and I did not know Derrick Jones could go up that high and just
Man.
That was so filthy.
Yeah, it was electric.
It was filthy, and then also Derrick Jones was 2 for 3 then from downtown. Like, he played a hell of a role in that ball game. But, man, you didn't get much from the bench last night for the Mavs. Big key, no Derek Lively. But then if you also look over at, Minnesota, they don't get jack from their bench either. Because, I mean, they usually do. Look, Naz Reid, did not have one of his best games. But you know who played way better than I ever expected?
Who's that?
Kyle Anderson.
Sure did.
Now, if you look at his stat line, you're going to say, what, Johnny got 2 points. Man, he had 3 steals. He played also good defense on Luka, had 4 big assists. And I'm just saying, man, I'm telling you, I was killing Kyle Anderson the first 3 games. He finally woke up and had a good one. And then we got to get a lot more out of Nickeil Alexander if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. This is a guy who's been a lockdown defender, doesn't quite look right. But, man, we got game number 5 tomorrow. Right now, again, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are a 5.5-point favorite.
Wow.
You mean Minnesota can't lose every game in this series at home, right? They got to get one.
Got to.
And could you imagine if they get game 5 and they have an opportunity, if they can win game 6, that they would get the opportunity to go back home and make history in the NBA?
Yeah.
Somebody's eventually going to do it.
Sure.
Why not the Timberwolves? Man, I'll tell you one thing, though. When I look at the 2 teams, which team do you think gives Boston the biggest trouble?
It's a good question. I'll say Dallas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
I just like Dallas, if I'm being completely honest.
So you're rooting for them to get there and win the championship?
100%. I had no rooting interest going in, but yeah, I'm rooting for Dallas right now.
Can't believe you're not rooting for Mike Conley to get a ring.
I mean, if Mike Conley gets a ring, that'd be great. I'd love that. But as far as teams go, I'm rooting for Dallas. I love this Dallas team. They're so much fun to watch.
I like them a lot. On the other side, we talked a little bit about some football. I want to get back and bring up a little bit of football news and just ask you people out there what you think. We had 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. We all know that Caleb Williams is going to start from day one. 100%. I mean, he is the damn starter. I mean, what is it? Tyson Bagent or something that's like his backup?
Yeah.
Please. He ain't playing. They also have Brett Rippon, I think, as a backup. He ain't playing. They're going all in with him, and I think actually Caleb's going to be good. This is going to be a good football team. It'll be interesting to see how he plays his rookie season. So, I mean, Caleb Williams from the jump, he goes. Jaden Daniels. Like, somebody was trying to tell me, well, with the presence of Marcus Mariota on the team, maybe he'll actually start and they'll bring him in late in the season. And I said to myself, you didn't see Marcus Mariota playing in Atlanta?
Yeah, if Marcus Mariota is what's really getting you worried.
Man, check yourself before you wreck yourself. I think Daniels is going to be awesome. He's a dual-threat quarterback, can throw from the pocket, hits the ball vertically down the field, and also runs like a maniac. He can run almost as good as Lamar, but he throws the ball better. So I expect him to be starting from the jump. Drake May, I don't expect to play at all for the Patriots this year. I really don't. Everything you hear about him, he's got to work on his footwork. He's got to work on his arm slot. He's got a lot to learn as a quarterback. And let me say, sitting for a year is never a bad thing. Do you remember Pat Mahomes sat for a year?
That's right.
Behind Alex Smith?
Sure did.
Do you remember, Jordan Love sat for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. Like, dude, sitting and learning how to be a pro is not always a bad thing because, listen, we have seen many quarterbacks, and I think of David Carr. Do you remember him with the Texans? Mm-hmm. When he came out of Fresno State, he was a stud. He went to the Texans in that first season, was sacked like 70 times and never recovered.
Right.
He never got comfortable in the pocket. My man had happy feet for the rest of his career. Dude was seeing linebackers and defensive ends who weren't even there. They were like ghosts on the field. Like, you can ruin a young quarterback. And I'm just saying, I think Drake May sitting for the Patriots is going to be a good thing because I'd like to remind you, who did they get? Jacoby Brissett. A good professional, somebody to learn from behind. And it's also, do you want Drake May to go out there with them weapons and end up like Mac Jones? I think he definitely has to sit for a season, and I think that would benefit the franchise and also the young quarterback Drake May. Michael Penix Jr., I don't know why the Falcons took him 8 overall, especially after they gave $180 million, $100 million guaranteed to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is going to start. I don't think it's a bad thing for Michael Penix Jr. to sit for a year, possibly even 2. I would hate for him to sit 2. I mean, sit 1 year behind Kirk Cousins, I guess you get rid of Kirk Cousins and then bring in your young man. What's up, you know?
What's up?
But I think Michael Penix is going to be a good pro. I also like the fact that he's going to get an opportunity to sit for a season and learn from a consummate professional in Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins does not have the biggest arm. He is not fast. He's not the biggest dude in the world. But you know what he is? He is a 100% football player. He studies film. He knows where everybody's supposed to be. He beats you with his brain and his little weak arm more so than being somebody like, you know, a Phillip Rivers who had, you know, all the physical tools back in the day, slinging that junk all over the yard. So I think it's good for Penix. I think this is going to be good for him and Atlanta going forward. And I don't expect to see J.J. McCarthy. Why would you start a kid like J.J. who is so young, in a division that you're not expected to be that great? Your defense is kind of pitiful. And they did bring in Sam Darnold. I mean, this guy was the number, 3 overall pick. You know, he went out to, from Carolina to San Francisco, sat behind Brock Purdy. I mean, he's, learning from Shanahan. I feel like you go over to Minnesota and you get an opportunity to basically hold my man's spot for next year. Maybe even 2, who knows? I mean, I think Kevin McCarthy is also a smart coach. I don't think he's going to screw this up. So I like the situation that J.J. McCarthy is in, but I don't necessarily like the quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Not completely sold. And this is where I don't like to root for people's demise. I don't want to just be that person to be like, golly, I hope they're not successful. But this is sad. The Broncos organization has made me want to vomit a lot lately. Russell was annoying. But you're telling me Sean Payton hadn't been just as big of an annoyance and an a-hole? Talking trash about Nathaniel Hackett, changing everything. Dude, you didn't do jack last year. And then you went out there and took a guy who was probably a second, third round quarterback. You took him at the 12th overall pick because what? You had success with a short quarterback in Drew Brees? Oh, man, hey, man, let's get this other short guy. He's going to be a gamer. I don't know, man. I like Bo Nix. He's started, 60? He has the most starts at quarterback of any other college player ever, period. And, man, it's a good thing he left Auburn because he wouldn't be in this position because what he did with Oregon was totally different. But, again, this is guys' average pass across the line of scrimmage is 6.4 yards. Did he complete 70+% of his passes? Yes. But when you're throwing half of them behind the line of scrimmage and you're just throwing quick little slants, I don't know how this is going to work. But I have a feeling that Peyton is going to try to force this because you know who the backups are?
Not great.
Jared Stidham and Zach Wilson.
Well, hey, John, you never know what you might have in Zach Wilson.
Sean Payton's a quarterback guru.
And Sean Payton wanted to love on a Wilson last year, and that Wilson would not let him love him. And so this year, maybe you got another Wilson that you can develop into your quarterback.
I actually have a feeling that crazy Sean Payton, again, and yes, you were living off your one Super Bowl. Drew Brees was awesome, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. You could have done a little more winning when you had him, actually.
Well.
But, man, just drafting Bo Nix just reeks of arrogance by Sean Payton that I know best, I know better than everybody. And I'm not, and again, I want Bo Nix to be successful, but I kind of don't want Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this is a coach that I used to actually really, really dig, and now I just can't stand him. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just a whole weird situation. So those are the quarterbacks that I've been sitting here thinking to myself, first-year rookie quarterbacks. This is the 6 that I think some that are going to play and the some that aren't, and they're going to sit by and chill. Then also I got to thinking about second-year quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud, man, looks like that dude, doesn't he?
Sure does.
All I keep thinking about, Frank Wright still screaming that they didn't take C.J. Stroud. Why are we taking a dude that small?
That's right.
Flutie Flakes had to go to Canada. And again, there's not a lot of, Y.A. Tittle was little, but you know how long ago it was when he was playing?
Long time, John, a long
damn time. Bryce Young, they went out there and brought in a couple new guards. Everybody is saying that Carolina's putting out all the right things, of course. They're all about just like, man, you have no idea. We got this. Man, I don't know if you got it. I don't believe you got it. I really, really don't think you have it. So, Bryce Young, I don't think he takes another step. And again, I talked about David Carr being sacked all the damn time. Bryce Young was shell-shocked last year as well. Sorry, Bryce. You're in Carolina, and that's like quarterback hell. No, Anthony Richardson. Dude, Shane Steichen is a hell of a coach. You saw what he did when he was in Philadelphia. Now you see him as a head coach and what he did with Gardner Minshew, and was one win away from making the playoffs on the last day in one hell of a football game. You get AR-15 back in being that dude. Bro, he is electric. He can run like you wouldn't believe, huge arm. And I think Shane Steichen is the perfect coach to bring him along. And I think this year, because he was injured last year, didn't get a few games, I think this year you're going to see him take a big step. I like him. And then I'm shocked to say this. I think Will Levis is actually going to be good. I'm serious. And I did not like the mayonnaise-eating Will Levis at all. But I think Brian Callahan might just be the perfect coach for him. They've got some weapons. Their offensive line has improved. And again, he's 6'4" and he's yoked and he has a huge arm. I think he's going to take another step this year. I kind of like Will Levis. Now, I'm not going to sit there and think he's going to be C.J. Stroud by any means. But damn, have you looked at the quarterbacks for Tennessee lately? Go all the way back to Vince Young. Go back to, oh my goodness, Ryan Tannehill. Malik Willis. Oh, yeah, don't forget Marcus Mariota. Like, there's been some bad quarterbacks in Tennessee. So it ain't like Will's got to set the world on fire to be, I'm not saying he's going to be Steve McNair, but I think he can be effective NFL quarterback. I definitely think he can be. Now, also, somebody I know who's very effective. That's Rick's Powder Coating. For a beautiful finish every time, Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all your powder coating needs. They're locally owned and operated since 2002. Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call Rick's Powder Coating at 901-367-2771 or go to rickspowdercoating.com. Hardwood on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Anticipation is building for Memphis football.
3, 2, 1, that's your winner!
With a cast of returning stars ready for the big stage.
Caught! Rock Taylor! Touchdown Tigers!
The momentum for Memphis football is on the rise.
Harrigan into the end zone. Tiger touchdown. He just wouldn't be denied.
It's time to pounce. So purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGo.com.
Hey, Mid-South, I've got Marty McNay getting back to the past on these prices at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
This is heavy, Doc. I mean, Randy. Let's go with 42 MPG Highway and a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for $249 a month. Or take your pick from a 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNate! You got it going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Let me hit those deals again. 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month, or take your pick. 2024 Tiguan S or Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
Your future is whatever you make of it, Randy, so let us help you make your future down here at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Jetta number RMO 46526, MSRP 26,996. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31,363. Taos RM 11174, MSRP 31,414. Includes all credit and incentives. PF 695. Excludes DTNL. See dealer for complete details. With approved credit dealer stock only. Offer expires into the month.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Collierville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Collierville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a Wednesday in the Mid-South, and we are about to do a little Hardwood where it feels so good. But my goodness, hopefully you have recovered from your weekend, that 3-day weekend that was amazing over Memorial Day weekend. And if you haven't recovered, sometimes kind of just need to go over to the liquor store and get the best. Get a little Tito's handmade vodka, because if life hands you lemons, you don't freak out. You don't stress. You don't worry about things. You just make a lemon drop, but you make sure it's with the best, and that's Tito's handmade vodka. crafted and distilled in the United States down in Austin, Texas. 6 times distilled and distilled in classic copper pots. Gives it a very unique flavor. Slightly sweet, black pepper note, balances everything out, whether you're crafting a cocktail or drinking it neat. Get your Tito's on today. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Bro. Guess whose charges have been dropped?
Oh, Scotty Scheffler.
Yep, it's kind of weird how this morning the first thing I saw was another video with another angle of the Scotty Scheffler. It was actually from inside the cops' cruiser. And after also watching that and seeing how nice and polite Scotty Scheffler was, and him explaining the situation that he didn't know he was a cop, he thought he was a security guard, and there was a cop in front of him waving to come this way, and there was a dude who scared him, who ran up on his car and started beating on his window with a damn flashlight. Like, dude, that's just such a bad thing. And
Crazy.
Again, and the other thing that's weird, do you remember after this happened, the mayor doubling down last week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. He was like, yeah, we're going after him.
Yeah, we're good.
Video job.
Yeah, I don't care if he's the #1 golfer in the world, and we're going to treat him just like any other criminal. And then all of a sudden, and this was after they found out that this officer didn't have his body cam footage on. And then all of a sudden, these videos start pouring out showing that the cop was running down and did not hang on the car, but actually tripped, fell, embarrassed himself, split his pants, and then got up and acted like a complete maniac, beating on the window, pulled Scotty Scheffler out of the car, and then pushes him up against the car and slams him. You're like, dude, come on, Louisville, you got to do better than that. But the charges now have been dismissed. And I have to say, Scotty Scheffler is just a nice dude. Like, he handled that situation perfectly. Never said anything bad about the cops. In fact, after he got released from jail, first thing he did was talk about the tragic situation with the man losing his life. You know? Yeah. Like, he handled himself extremely well. People used to say he's really boring, I guess. Man, I like him. He's just a real dude. And he's a damn good golfer.
He's a really good golfer. John, I have a story to bring up.
Really?
Hardwood. Yes, if you'd like to hear it.
I like it.
All right, John, do you remember, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when the news came out, breaking news, Graceland has no money. They're going to have to foreclose.
Yeah, that junk was,
deal.
they were putting it up for auction, right?
That's right. And then,
who bought it?
Well, the day it was supposed to happen, or I guess the day before it was supposed to happen, the Shelby County courts put in a stop on it, like, let's all calm down, let's slow this down, let's try to figure this out. And then the company came out that was supposedly suing them or whatever, foreclosing them, and said, we actually don't want to do this. This is, whatever. So now, the Daily Memphian today did a story talking about how they got an email from the email address that's listed in the court documents. And the email says that the person sending the email says that they're a scammer and that this is what they do, and they, take people's identities and try to make money and all of this stuff. And the New York Times also received an email from this person where they talked about how they find people that have died and in states like California and Florida and steal their personal information to try to do illegal things and get money and entrance to bank accounts and stuff like that. And so I guess they saw an opportunity with Graceland, probably with Lisa Marie just dying recently, and they tried to do it. And he was like, the scammer that was sending the email was like, I didn't win this one, but I win more than I lose, and I'm gonna win soon, or something like that. I was like, holy cow. So supposedly it was a scammer.
So that means the granddaughter is going to get to keep Graceland?
Yeah, Riley Keough. Yeah,
is this now a done deal?
Yeah, so it last week or whenever it was,
are they going to
dropped
go
everything
look for the scammer and charge them?
Yeah, I don't know. It says
that'd probably be a good idea.
It probably
so
would
they don't
be good.
Scam somebody else.
I was reading the story. I didn't get through all of it in the Daily Memphian. But in it says that the email, this was a quote from the story, the email was written in a mix of English and Ganda, which is one of the major languages spoken in Uganda. So he might not even be here in America. So I have no idea. But like I said, the New York Times got the same exact email from the same person. So really, really interesting stuff.
I got an interesting story.
Please.
So you know who Mark Davis is?
Yeah, of course. Oh, I've seen this.
Owner for the Raiders?
Yeah.
69-year-old owner for the Raiders. Yeah. He's definitely not his dad. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Al Davis was a baller. He's kind of a goof. He looks like Lloyd Christmas from, what is that show? Dumb and Dumber? He looks like Lloyd Christmas. That's sure the character that, what's his crazy name? Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
That's the character Jim Carrey
I didn't know if you
plays.
meant his real name or not.
Lloyd Christmas.
That's right.
Is the character's name, but real name is Jim Carrey.
Bingo.
So yeah, he's kind of a goofy dude. Well, he was sitting, hanging out with this 26-year-old dancer, Hayden Hopkins. And all of a sudden, news comes out that Hayden Hopkins is pregnant. Well, they've been seen together, Mark Davis and Hayden, hanging out and in his box and sitting next to him, looking friendly. So Pat McAfee went on his show yesterday. Did you see this? He issued an apology today about it. But my man Pat McAfee went on there and had to walk back because he said that 69-year-old Mark Davis is having a baby with the 26-year-old dancer Hayden Hopkins, and goes on about blah, 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 blah. Mark Davis is the father of the child. This stuff is wild. And again, I get it. Like rich dudes. Like,
well, that's what was being reported yesterday.
Yeah, that's what was being reported. And he was one of the first ones to go on out there and say, well, It was basically all reckless speculation. That's why when I recklessly speculate, I always say, this is just reckless speculation.
Well, so have you seen where this is all stemming from? So the Twitter page, Dove Kleiman, that's like an NFL Twitter account, and like you'd know it if you see it. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it right, but you would know it if you saw it. This guy used to break a bunch of NFL news. He was the one that tweeted out yesterday that she was pregnant with his baby, and so this has been a kind of a reputable source. Nobody knows who it is, so that's why a lot of people ran with it. It became like big news yesterday, and it turns out to be false. It's actually Joey Gallo's baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Joey Gallo's got to be sitting around there somewhere going, "Man, you think that Mark Davis was like hanging with my girlfriend, if you know what I'm saying?"
So supposedly, the real story behind this, the guy who made this account that was breaking all these NFL news and stuff like that a couple years ago, last year he sold his account to like I don't know exactly who he sold it to, but he sold it for a bunch of money. Obviously had to get a good price out of it in order to sell it. And so now this guy has been on here and tweeting under this name, but a lot of the stuff he's tweeting is not necessarily the truth. And so a lot of people ran with it yesterday, and then it became the big story of like, hey, this guy that we all think is reputable and we've trusted him for a couple years, not the same guy, completely different person. We can't trust him anymore.
Well, when I first heard this news, I said 100% I don't believe it. You know why?
Why?
Because that dude couldn't get laid in a house with like $50K in his pocket, bro. Yeah. I bet he's a virgin.
Oh, interesting.
I'm willing to bet. Mark Davis. He might be rich, but man, that man, please. Please. Mark Davis. Now I got a kind of a sad story.
Okay.
You'll be interested in this because, you do this kind of stuff for a living. And I want to remind people out there, hot mics are dangerous.
John, I saw that. Have you seen the video of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Hot mics are extremely dangerous. If he didn't turn my mic off,
we'd be in trouble.
Right when I sign off, I would be in so much trouble because I talk a lot of ish between my breaks. I don't cuss on air. But I'm kind of colorful off of it, It just makes me comfortable. But this gentleman, oh my goodness, you talk about having a bad day at work. So, there's this gentleman who lives out in Oklahoma. He calls a few college games around there, and he also calls high school games. And he was calling a high school girls game, which was being streamed online. My man did not realize that his mic was hot. He thinks he goes to break, and then all of a sudden you hear him start talking about. He's like, man. He's like, college games are so much better. But high school games, I just don't want them. Actions have consequences. It's my policy. It's beneath my dignity to call out high school players. I'm going to try to subtly do it, but I'm just going to say, this game blows, and these kids are terrible. Like, he was acting like he was above talking bad about the kids, but immediately after he says that it's beneath his dignity, he goes on and starts talking bad about the kids. Then another dude says something to him, and he's like, you know what, though? There is one bonus calling high school games, especially soccer games. He goes, girls, soccer, in high school, it's all about the soccer moms. And then he goes, F yeah, baby. Up top, baby. And then he's looking at one of the girls. He's like, that's the one right there. That one facing us. See if she can tear it the F off. I can't see her legs, but I can feel her ass from here. It all went out. My man doesn't have a job today.
Well, and the best part of that was he says all of this. He talks bad about he talks bad about college soccer players. He talks bad about high school players. He says derogatory things about the
women,
mothers. He gets done with all of this.
Tells the girl to take it off.
He gets done with all of this, and it's him and another person. We don't know who the other person is, but somebody else standing in the press box. He gets all of this done, and he goes, now this is why we do this at halftime when the mics are off. And he goes, I think we've got it all out of our system. We can go back live now. And you can hear him pick up the headset, put it back on, and then he starts talking. He never realizes it's on. He goes straight, hey, we're back out here at the so-and-so soccer complex for this game. And everyone's sitting there in halftime like, dude, we just heard everything.
The soccer intermission was wild.
It was crazy.
Now, my question is he's an idiot, obviously. But do you think the producer who was back in the studio got fired as well?
Oh, man. You got to. I mean, but you should know. I mean, I've done high school broadcasts for football. I've done D3 college broadcasts for basketball. Like, it's very rare that you have somebody else doing all of this stuff for you. Most of the time, you're the one turning your own equipment on and off.
When you're doing high school games, you're right.
But what I'm saying is you got to be smarter than that. Even if you're doing college games and high school's beneath you and you deserve everyone else doing stuff for you. Like, you got to be smarter than that and know that you're probably most likely working with not the best equipment, and you got to be careful what you do and what you say.
Man,
shame on him.
That dude, I couldn't imagine, like, finishing the game, thinking you did a great
Man,
job.
we did good work today.
Great work today, and then you're leaving the game, and then your phone starts blowing up, and you're getting called, and they're firing you for all the things you said during the intermission.
Man.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Now, yesterday I played a little golf.
You did? How'd it go? Did we hit them long and straight?
I didn't, I wouldn't say I hit a lot straight.
Okay, well, that's all right.
I hit a few long.
That's right.
I did chip one in the green was probably about 10 feet above where we were. About 40 yards out. Hit once, ball went right in the hole, baby.
Love
Beautiful.
that.
Only had 3 feet in front of the hole to land that giant.
Beautiful.
Eli made like 6 amazing putts.
Good for him.
So we had a lot of fun out there yesterday. And again, thank you so much, Jeremy Wilbur. He, brings us out there. He's, the head of the Greater Memphis FCA. It was the 36th annual John Bull Bramlett tournament, and it was awesome. Raising money for kids to go to camp. I heard a lot of great speeches yesterday. I had a great time. Had fun on the golf course. And then, you know how when you're like talking about golf or playing about golf, all of a sudden your phone, because it listens to you.
Oh, that's right.
Starts popping up with some golf stories.
Oh, of course.
And then I saw this yesterday after my round, and I was like, what? Who is this? Have you ever heard of Charlie Hull?
Yeah, John, I knew I had a story that I was going to bring for you today, and that's what it was. Because I saw it, the first person I thought of was you, John.
Bro, nobody was smoking cigarettes out on the course at TPC Southwood.
Probably good. You're at FCA, though.
Nobody was drinking. You know, it was all a bunch of good dudes doing their thing, playing a little golf, raising money for a bunch of young kids to go to camp. Wonderful day. But I did not realize, like, you know, John Daly is famous for smoking heaters on the course.
Of course.
Drinking a whole
Drinking
bunch,
everything under the sun.
You know, dressing crazy and hitting the ball a long damn way. Well, there's a girl on the LPGA tour who's got a little John Daly in her.
And she's doing her best John Daly impression.
My girl's out there smoking heaters on the course, talking a little trash, and she's pretty damn good. She got second place at the Pebble Beach Tour this year. But the funniest thing, again, I thought was not even just the fact that she smokes heaters on the course, but when the tournament was over and she finished second or whatever, and she was standing there signing people's autograph, did you see the whole time that she just had a cigarette hanging from her lip?
Yeah.
Man, she just taking heat, like taking drags, smoking, signing autographs. Man, I just, I don't know. I remember the days, which is so weird, because when I was growing up, everybody smoked. I used to walk to the store and get my mom cigarettes when I was like 10 years old. And now nobody smokes. So seeing a young lady as young as her on the LPGA Tour smoking a bunch of heaters kind of trips me out.
John, I'm going to try to sneak in one more story here if we have time. So we all remember the whole Ocean Gate debacle last year. It was honestly about a year ago.
What is Ocean Gate?
You remember when those idiot millionaires tried to go all the way down to the Titanic?
Yeah, it imploded.
Immediately. And we were like all on the edge of our seats. So the company is called Ocean Gate. They make the submersibles is what they call it. I think that's just a fancy word for submarine. But they make the submersibles, and they have decided, the CEO, Patrick Leahy, has decided that he wants to take another dive down to the Titanic. He was not in the submarine that went down to the Titanic. He wants to do another one, maybe spruce it up a little bit, and then go back down to the Titanic so that he can show everybody that their submersibles can do it. He is just so locked in on his submarines will be able to go down to the Titanic that I think later this year that they're going to do it again and try to go down there and see what happens. John, you could not pay me any of the money on earth after what happened a year ago to get into one of those submersibles, whatever the hell you want to call it, and try to go down to the Titanic.
It's a cheap submersible.
That's
it
right.
ain't even like I mean, this ain't like no sub, is it, man?
Yeah, that's why it's called a submersible, because I guess it's not necessarily a submarine.
Dude, it was being driven by a PlayStation joystick.
This is a quote from the story I'm reading. This tragedy had a chilling effect on people's interest in these vehicles, obviously. It reignited old myths that only a crazy person would dive in one of these things. Obviously. We had a client, a wonderful man. He called me up and said, you know what we need to do is build a sub that can dive to Titanic level depths repeatedly and safely and demonstrate to the world that you guys can do that. And that Titan was a contraption. No, I think I'll pass on that, big dog. You know, maybe we'll still have people go underwater in our submersibles. Maybe not that deep, though.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
I'm good. I'm telling you one thing that's also great. This ain't a submersible, but my people over at, oh my gosh, like, do you have a gate at your crib?
I do, yes, in my backyard.
Well, I never had one until like August of last year, and Automatic Gates came over to my house. They custom tailored the gate for me. They came out there that day. They put everything in. It's motorized. They welded it all together. And then all of a sudden, immediately after they put it in and they were done, I realized, oh no, at the very bottom of it, it's not, tight enough for my 2-pound Chihuahua could get through the gate. They were like, dude, don't worry about it. I got a quick fix. So they cut these dead gum, pieces of wrought iron, and then they just did a small, gate at the bottom, put them in between. Bing, bang, it looks beautiful. I absolutely love it. And I'm telling you, it's also for security. It's aesthetically pleasing. It just changes everything. And Automatic Gates in construction, they specialize in the design, the installation. They do everything. It's seamless. It blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal all in one. Elevate your safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction. Go to myautomaticgates.com. On the other side, we got to bet on something, bro. I got a bet for you. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating, for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Now at O'Reilly, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for $9 and receive 2 times O Rewards points. In-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get ready because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, we Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHFO 9083, MSRP 19460. Sport RU 0110 764, MSRP 28070. Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895. PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It's that time of day. We're about to get to some bets, but I got to remind you, 2 to 6 today, you can go hit up the best happy hour out in Collierville at Mugshots Grill and Bar. I'm telling you right now, they got 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. You can finish that bad boy in 12 minutes. It's free, plus you get a T-shirt. So cheers to great food, great drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar. where you're always having a good time. Now, I feel good right now. Detroit's up 3-0 on the Pirates. I like that. Now, I am not just in love with this game, but I'm kind of just playing the percentages. And I feel like, man, Phillies, they're looking to avoid the sweep against the Giants today. Phillies lost last night in 10 innings, 1-0. But Alec Baum is going to be back today. I think they're going to start hitting again. You also have my man Harrison, who, if you look at him, he's 4-1. Kyle Harrison's 4-1 on the season, but his ERA is 3.9. He's been roughed up his last 2 outings. Gave up 4 earned runs in just 5 innings the Mets the last time out. And I feel like those Phillies bats are just going to explode today. The only thing that does give me a little pause for cause, the Giants have been on a tear. Do you know they're winners of 10 of their last 12?
Is that right? Wow.
Like, they have been on a tear. I just think they're playing way above their head. And again, Phillies who have lost 4 of their last 5 games, they're still 7-12 on the season. Like they've won 7 of their last 12 games. I feel like this has just been a little slump. I think they get back. I think they bust the baseball like it's going out of style. So I'm rocking with the Phillies today. And then I'm also, how can you not take Paul Skeens?
How could you not, John?
Dude, I am riding Paul Skeens. I only have to lay 140. Let's go. It's Paul Skeens Day. Everybody get out your Livy Dunn posters and cheerleading and grow a mustache because Paul's going to get the dub. That one's at 310. For Brian Dacus, I'm John Harden. Get out there and make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential